Sarah sat alone at the bus stop that December evening, watching her breath form small clouds in the frozen air. At 32, she had learned to wear loneliness like a second coat. Her marriage had ended 6 months ago. David had wanted children. She could not give them to him. The doctors had used complicated words, but the meaning was simple enough. No children. Not ever. David had tried to hide his disappointment at first. Then came the silent dinners, the separate bedrooms. Finally, the divorce papers on the kitchen table with a note that said he deserved a complete family. Sarah pulled her purple sweater tighter against the cold. The snow was falling harder now, dancing under the streetlights like tiny stars coming down to earth. She heard them before she saw them. 5 small voices chattering and laughing. 5 pairs of boots crunching through the snow. And one deeper voice, patient and warm, trying to keep them all together. Noah, hold your brother's hand. Emma, stay close. Tyler, Marcus, James, we need to hurry or we'll miss the bus. Sarah looked up to see a man about 40 years old, his brown jacket dusted with snow, surrounded by 5 bundled children. The oldest looked maybe 8, the youngest around 4. They moved like a small parade, colorful hats bobbing, mittens waving. The man caught her eye and offered a tired smile. Sorry for the noise. We're a bit of a traveling circus. It's a lovely sound, Sarah said, and meant it. The children gathered around their father at the bus stop, their energy somehow warming the frozen air. The smallest one, in a yellow jacket, looked at Sarah with curious eyes. Are you sad? He asked. James, that's not polite, the father said gently. But Sarah smiled. It's okay. I was a little sad, but I'm feeling better now. The bus was late. Snow was piling up on the roads. The man checked his watch inside. We're heading to my mother's house, he explained. It's her birthday. But with this weather, I'm wondering if we should have stayed home. Family is worth the trouble, Sarah said. He nodded. I'm Robert, by the way. And this crew is Noah, Emma, Tyler, Marcus, and James. Each child waved as their name was called. Sarah introduced herself. Where's your mother? Little Emma asked, her blue eyes innocent. Emma, Robert started, but Sarah raised her hand. She's in heaven, sweetheart. But she taught me that kindness is never wasted. They waited together in the falling snow. Robert told her he had been widowed 2 years ago. His wife, Anna, had died suddenly. An aneurysm. One moment she was there, the next she was gone. People keep telling me I should find someone, he said quietly, while the children played in the snow nearby. They say the kids need a mother. But how do you explain to someone that you come with 5 children? Most women run when they hear that. Sarah watched the children building a tiny snowman on the bench. Some people see complications. Other people see blessings. The bus never came. The snow was too heavy. Robert pulled out his phone with shaking hands, worried about his mother waiting, about getting the children home safely. I live 2 blocks from here, Sarah heard herself say. You could wait at my place until the weather clears. Make your phone calls. The children could get warm. Robert hesitated. We couldn't impose. Please, Sarah said. It would be nice to have the company. Her small apartment came alive with the sound of children. Sarah made hot chocolate. She found old blankets. The children sat on the floor, drawing pictures and telling stories. Robert called his mother, explained the situation. Sarah could hear the older woman's understanding voice through the phone, telling him to stay safe, that birthdays could wait. Thank you, Robert said to Sarah. This is more kindness than I expected today. Kindness is free, she replied. My mother taught me that. As the evening stretched on, something unexpected happened. The children's laughter filled the empty spaces in Sarah's heart. Little James fell asleep in her arms. Emma showed her a drawing of a rainbow. The boys built a tower from her books and knocked it down, giggling. Robert watched her with the children. Something soft in his expression. You're good with them, he said. They're easy to love, she replied. The storm passed near midnight. Robert gathered his sleepy crew, bundling them back into their winter coats. At the door, he paused. Could I have your number? I'd like to thank you properly. Maybe coffee sometime. Sarah wrote it down, her hand steady. 3 days later, Robert called. Coffee became dinner. Dinner became walks in the park, with all 5 children. Weeks turned into months. The children adopted her gradually, naturally, like spring following winter. She learned their different laughs, their favorite foods, their bedtime stories. She braided Emma's hair. She helped Noah with homework. She kissed scraped knees and dried tears. Robert fell in love with her slowly and completely, not despite her past, but including all of it. On a warm spring evening, he took her back to that same bus stop where they had met. "I was broken when I met you," he said. 5 children with no mother, a heart full of grief, and you saw past all of that. "I saw a good man doing his best," Sarah replied. "David was a fool," Robert said. He thought family was about biology, but family is about choice, about showing up, about love. He got down on one knee in the exact spot where they had waited in the snow. "These 5 children already call you mom in their hearts. Would you make it official? Will you marry me?" Sarah said yes through happy tears. They married that summer in a simple ceremony. 5 children stood beside them, witnesses to a love that proved second chances are real. Sarah never had children of her own body, but she became mother to 5 beautiful souls who needed her as much as she needed them. Years later, when people asked about her family, she would smile and say she had been blessed beyond measure, that sometimes God's plan is different than our own. That rejection from one person led her to acceptance from 6. And every December, on snowy evenings, she would sit with Robert and their children and remember that frozen bus stop where her real life had begun, where one man's rejection had led to another man's choice, where loneliness had transformed into love. In the comments below, tell me from which country you are watching my video. If this story touched your heart, please like and share it with someone who needs to hear that their story isn't over yet. Subscribe for more stories of hope and second chances, and leave a comment sharing your own story of unexpected blessings. Your encouragement means everything.